Hey everybody, welcome. I know Sue's here. Hi Sue.
Hello.
So please forgive us. We are a little cramped, but we're
The
trying.
lighting is a little iffy in
Yeah.
here right
Can
now,
everyone
so-
hear us okay? Well, can you hear us okay? Please comment or chat. Because we're not sure how well this is working. We can move the microphone if we need to.
It only just came on.
Yeah, can you guys hear us? Can everybody hear us okay? So, another rainy day here
Yes.
today. So really not much going on except rain and lots of rain. It's quite cold actually as well.
Yeah, it's been chilly, and I mean, last night we actually got into the well, as far as feels like, we got into the minuses.
Yeah. So
Thank you, Jamie.
thank you, Jamie, and welcome. Yeah, we it was it felt like -1. You said, yeah. So there was a little bit of frost, so that's a little worrying, but it is what it is.
It's not supposed to last.
No, it's supposed to get warmer.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if you can see, I literally just got bitten by a mosquito, like right here. It's driving me nuts.
It is nothing compared to the black flies.
No, oh my
Although
word.
they're gone today thanks to the rain and
Yeah.
everything, so that's been pretty nice.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah.
Take that. And Mr. Remy is, for the moment, behaving. I don't think he quite knows what to make of us talking to ourselves on the screen. So
No.
Yeah, we'll definitely take a day without the black flies. What did you see, Remy? I don't know what he's looking at. But yeah, the black flies have been absolutely horrible the last couple of weeks. Like,
Yeah.
It's insane. So yeah, we'll take a couple of mosquitoes over the swarms of black flies for sure. At least the mosquitoes don't sort of tend to get in your face so much.
No, they just kind of come at you and go.
Yeah.
If you don't slap them fast.
Yes. Apparently, which I did not do. So, but yeah, does anyone have any questions about any of the videos that we put out like the last week or so? I know we've been sort of doing more or trying to do like sort of focused videos, like videos that are sort of focused on a specific project, and then sort of doing like an overview of what we've been working on. So, it is a bit of a different thing than us just sitting on the sofa talking about stuff. Because I'm sure that gets boring for you guys. Yes. Are we boring you, Grammy? I'm sorry. He does think we're a bit crazy because we're talking to no one. No, nothing yet. That's going to take a little while. I mean, it's a very large government department. Now, it's a local office that starts the process, but we don't know how long that process could take. Reports vary. Some people say they're relatively quick. Other people say, do this well in advance. So the frustrating thing, and we privately talked about this, was that had we known about this requirement before we got here, we actually would have applied for it before we left Calgary, so that it was all in place. Yes.
Yeah, technically.
Technically, yes. We will have to keep moving the trailer to
accommodate that. But
to accommodate that.
We, on that subject, we've sort of talked a bit though about. I mean, we've already looked up places not looked up. We've actually gone to or passed by places that we've talked about shifting the camper to, but I think we're kind of looking at being able to potentially, if we do a little bit of just shifting of like deadfall and that sort of thing, we may be able to basically make the next shift of the camper out to the front of the property. So,
which, if you watch the last video, that's right at the end there where the truck was parked. It's that spot there. So,
eventually, to answer the follow-up question to that, they may and they may not. And that's another reports vary kind of thing. But so far, nothing here. And I mean, we've certainly had people coming in and out of here, not in abundance, but a couple of people who are sort of local who have property near to us. But yeah, really, it's kind of a when they come along.
Yeah.
If they come along.
Yeah. And I mean, it might be a matter of asking forgiveness to an extent, and pleading ignorance, but there's backup plans. I mean, there's a couple of spots we found to move the camper to. The hard part is that we still have a considerable amount of stuff that was in the camper, right? So, like, I mean, all of the stuff that we own that was in the camper, we have still got here that has to be moved onto the property. And that's really weird. That was a weird email notification.
Yes.
I just got an email notification to say that we're live and we should be answering people's comments on our live. I think we're answering people's comments
so far
on our live. Anyway, so the issue is that we've got stuff that we have to move onto the property, and those that stuff. Some of that stuff's pretty big, and I don't know what he's sniffing. And so that's a little bit tricky because it's hard, it's heavy stuff, and as you see from the path, it's quite difficult. Yes, hi Robert. Careful, Grammy. That's for later. Yes, that's for later. When will you be able to start? So probably this week we will actually start putting some of them in. I'm going to do.
Mention to the we have a last frost date here that's quite late in the, like, it's, what did you say?
10th of June.
Oh, it's 10th of June.
10th of June, technically.
It was the 2nd, but
I wish it was the 2nd.
Yeah, me too.
But technically our last frost date is the 10th of June. So there's some stuff like, for example, peas that you can plant now before your last frost date. But a lot of stuff you have to wait till that last frost date. Even with unseasonably warm temperatures. I mean, like earlier this week, we were struggling with 27, 28 degrees.
Yeah.
And now...
During the day.
The
nights are like, it goes down significantly, even on the warmer nights. Like, it's sort of like 10, 9, 8 kind of hovering around. But then the... I know what it is. What?
Looking at. I'll tell you that. But I can stop it from happening there. He's looking at the reflection of the light through my glasses over there. It keeps moving. He's doing the cat thing. I hope that didn't make it too dark for you guys. So we will be planting some of those, like the peas and stuff like that we can do before the last frost dates. Why do you have to be on top of me right now? But the rest we're going to wait to the end. We'll tell you. I mean, like, to an extent it does, in that it just means that we can't be right there. But I mean, like, that's why, if we move the camper really close to where we park the truck, that actually means that we sort of like get out the door and we're like 800 feet away from where we want to be. So really it doesn't change much, except that we sort of have to commute there to do the work in the meantime.
Goodbye.
Right. Apparently, Remy doesn't want Sandy to be in the live stream right now. Hey, stop that. We've got people are watching. Behave yourself. Um, he may end up having to go outside as well
Yes, I see you.
because now he's being very rambunctious, affectionate, and rambunctious. All right, did you want to just try and? Oh, sorry, this is the joys of going live with the dog. That tail hurts. Let me tell you. Okay, there. Maybe he'll sit there. He's now sitting in the cat spot because the cat's in the bed right now. So yeah, I mean, honestly, to answer that question, it doesn't really affect. I mean, like the reason why it would be nice to have the camper right where we're building is because when we are taking a break right now, there's nowhere to sit down. Like with greenhouses, there's there's no chairs and benches and stuff like that, and it would be kind of nice and he's back, and we're back. It would be kind of nice to be able to sort of, take a break and come and sit down on the sofa, for example, and, rest. Yeah, but we couldn't do that to you, Sue. Thank you, though. We have 2 camping chairs. The thing is that we use them here. So not that we really use them outside. We actually have one relegated inside here.
Which comes and goes.
Because it's portable, so it doesn't take up a lot of space. But yeah, we have them here right now. In the sort of vain hope that the flies will stop.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it feels like they never will. It feels like they're just like everywhere all the time. So, there's 9 people watching. There was 9 people. As I say that, it drops to 7. Of course. So, Remy, can you stop that? Because you want to take him out?
Yeah, I'll take him out.
All right.
Sandy's going to exit for about 10-15 minutes here.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just to get him. Come on, let's go and go pee. So I guess I will hold on to the live.
Hold the fort.
Hold the fort as best I can. No, don't touch the Windows button, please. The Starlink is great. My issue, and I sort of mentioned this at the beginning of the feed there in the chats. The only issue that we're already having is not the Starlink per se. It's the Wi-Fi card that I have. And you can hear how loud the generator is right there. But the Wi-Fi card seems a little iffy, and it'll randomly put us offline on the computer. So that's really frustrating. But the Starlink itself is amazing. We turn it on whenever the generator's on, and so within 5 minutes it's connected and everything. We've had absolutely no issues with that whatsoever. So really is quite cool. Very happy with the Starlink. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's also nice to be able to connect, and we actually found out that we can now do our cell phone calls over Wi-Fi. So we have that set up now on our phones, so we receive our SMSs and our phone calls via Wi-Fi when the Wi-Fi is running, because the signal here is just so come and go. It's weird because we'll get notification that there's a message on our phones, and then you go to click on to see the message and it doesn't show up. So it's not strong enough for that. So now that we have the Wi-Fi, of course, that helps quite a lot. Yeah. And I would have left this open, but the camera really didn't like it, and we just ended up being like shadow figures. We need a bigger solar system. So The solar system that's in the camper right now is 3 panels, 300, 100-watt panels, and 3 12-volt batteries. And as we've discussed in videos, some of the batteries are not holding charge, but there wouldn't be enough power to run the Starlink 24/7, I don't think. I am working on like planning out what we would need, but we actually are going to ultimately we'll have a bigger solar system. That sounds like not a system of planets. I mean like a solar panel system. But we definitely want to have a bigger bank of batteries, and we do want to go with lithium batteries, lithium-ion batteries for that system because they're more stable and they seem to have a longer shelf life. But certainly in the camper, I don't believe there's enough power in those batteries. And I mean, maybe if we upgraded those or replaced those and added onto them, they would be. But we needed an inverter that works because we can't get this one to work. So yeah, I don't know. We don't know why that's not working. It should be, by all accounts, it's wired up and plugged in. I've started putting those on the wish list, yes. But ultimately, there's a company called, you know what it's like when you try and remember something and then someone asks you about it and then you can't remember it. Renogy, Renogy.com. There's a Canadian version of it. They actually sell like complete systems that basically come packaged ready to go. They install them as well if you're in a place where you can install them. I mean, the thing is that the expense is pretty huge. The actual outlay for the system, for the panels, and the charge controller and the inverter and all the wires is not big. That's like the system that I was looking at is about $600 or $700. What gets you is the batteries, because the batteries run between $800 and I think there's one up there for $2,300 each. Like, and so, you know, on a system that size, you're going to need, on a larger system, like to run a house, you need probably about 6 to 12 batteries to run a system. And really, I mean, at the end of the day, we don't have a ton of things we need to run. We need to run a fridge. Ultimately, we need to run a freezer, and you know, Starlink and computers and stuff like that. Hi there. Are we a bit calmer now? Sorry. Hold on a second while we get everyone back inside. Okay, no touching this. Don't touch the keyboard, please. All right, let's get this off. There you go. All right. Yes, there is a system or a start of a system on our wish list. I haven't finished looking at all the components I want on that, so I haven't sort of done a ultimate like this is what I want on there yet. But that will be on there soon. Move back, Greg. Oh, back up there. So now it's Desmond and Remy live. He's getting a treat. He knows what that is. So good boy. There we go. That's it. The rest is for later. Yes, so thank you for that question, but no, it's not yet on the wish list to answer that question fully. Someone was asking about the solar and what it would take to run Starlink. All right, so it's Sue. Thanks for all these questions, Sue. That's awesome. It's like you've been thinking about these. Did everyone get a chance to see the the short video, the sort of advert for the live, but the montage of recap.
Thank you, Sue.
Because that was fun to do. If you hear loud sniffing, that was Remy sniffing the microphone. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. Hey guys, come on, ask your questions, or talk about any of the videos that we have up, or plans that we have. We love talking about this stuff, and we obviously want to share it with you, and we appreciate having you guys here to join us. So. Yeah, the silence. Well, at least, I mean, we've got the generator to keep us company, worst case. It makes enough noise. Can you guys actually hear that? I don't know if they could. I know, like, maybe when the door was open, but I don't know if you can hear it other than that. Oh, you're not at all. And I'm sorry, Remy, leave the microphone. I do have a delay on chat, so you can only send a message once every minute, just in case. We didn't want to get overwhelmed, in case there's a lot of people on there.
You smell like ham and garlic.
But why is that, Dad? So we actually add garlic powder to Remy's kibble, so that it helps. Yes, yeah. You smell like ham and garlic. Okay. Nope. Okay, good. You're being a good boy. Nope. All right, 8 people in here, 5 likes. That's awesome. Thank you. If you haven't already, please remember to hit the like button on this video. It does help to draw more people into our live stream. So we're only planning to be on here for an hour, so we won't bore you all to death. I think we
have dinners to do. Tonight.
Yeah, and I think we sort of do that with our lengthy videos. Actually, I have a question for you guys that are on the live stream. How many of you? Hi.
Good question.
Hi, Eve. So if you watched yesterday's video, the greenhouse sustained a little bit of damage in a very high wind, but the 2 peppers that are in there are doing phenomenally well despite that. So the greenhouse actually seemed to have blown over them. Fortunately, it didn't kill them or anything. And the one plant actually has sort of doubled in size, which was really cool. I mean, in just 3 days, it had sprouted more leaves and stuff like that. So it seems to be doing quite well. We'll see what it does after, we didn't expect the frost last night. So we'll see how it does, after this.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's still growing.
I mean, as I had sort of pointed out to you earlier, all these other plants around us are growing through these conditions. So, I mean, I'm not incredibly panicked about it or anything. Yeah. And I mean, again, there's only a couple of them planted over there right now that we're just testing them first before we actually did shifted the
sort of behind where you guys are viewing from is all of our other plants that are still here. And I mean, the peppers here are growing quite well. The tomatoes
there. Come on.
Wait, what are we doing here? Come, go over there. Go over there. The peppers are doing quite well. The tomatoes are starting to perk up a little, just with a change of pace. And we're not using the grow lights at all because that would take. Hey Ram, thanks for joining us. We haven't really started hardening them off yet, because the goal is to take them into the greenhouse closer to frost dates. So yeah, thank you, Sue. That's really appreciated. We try not to make them boring. We try and keep them exciting and interesting, and maybe yeah, we do try and keep them. I don't know. He wants to play,
Yes.
which is unusual because he just had dinner, and usually after dinner, we made sure to feed him. Oh, it's Jen. Hi, Jen. Sorry, I didn't recognize your pseudonym. Um, um, but yes, thank you. We do try and keep the videos interesting and engaging, and try and show as much as possible of what's real. Sorry, so he's getting a bit rambunctious again. You can take him out for another run around. Yeah. Maybe where his ball ended up. He needs a new ball already. No, I'm not. Here. Because we got him one of those knotted balls of rope from Dollarama, and wherever it's ended up, it is shredded, like absolutely shredded. He is quite harsh on that poor thing. I can't find it anyway. It was a very nice ball. Now it's just like this big knot of threads. Oh, that's okay, Remy. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. We do appreciate all of the people that have joined us. So anyone else have any questions? If anyone has questions about Sandy's cannabis, I know he will happily show those in a little bit too. And we'll talk about that as well. That's awesome, Rem. So if anyone else watching hasn't checked out, check out Rem's family channel. He is, I don't know where you're at exactly, Remy, but I know you're in a warmer climate than me. We're in zone 2B. I don't. We don't have fruit trees, but we'll happily take fruit trees if you're making some and propagating them, because they are ridiculously expensive. But we would absolutely love some fruit trees. We do have a lot of red elderberries around, a ton of those, which is quite exciting. Quite happy about that. And raspberries, as we talked about before. Okay, there you go. So New Brunswick. So yeah, so you're in 4A, we're in 2B. So zone 2B is pretty darn cold. Making sure I'm not missing anyone here. Yes, so that's a great question. Thank you, Sue. Yes, so we will. This greenhouse is sort of like oh my word, we need a greenhouse. And we need somewhere for two reasons. One, to store stuff right now, and two, obviously for plants, because we are not fully set up. But it's definitely a good place to start. Ultimately, we will, I hate to use the word redneck because, it has negative connotations, but we're going to sort of redneck a couple of greenhouses, I think. We really want to do a lot of reclaiming and recycling and reusing. And so we will be looking to do things like, someone's demolishing a house or replacing their windows, and we'll take their old windows and build a greenhouse out of that. Ultimately, we really, really would love to build a much larger greenhouse and do an all-season greenhouse. which will take a long time. There's a channel on YouTube, Arcopia, and he built an all-season greenhouse, and he is also in Zone 2B. He is in Saskatoon, and he's in Zone 2B, and he built a greenhouse that he just harvested a little while ago bananas in Saskatoon in his greenhouse, and it's mostly passively heated, which is amazing. He just basically uses the heat from the sun, and he's used sun angles and stuff to construct it, and done a super insulated greenhouse on a really tight budget. So we really want to do something like that. Yeah, Rem, and that's the thing is we would definitely want to use as many recycled and upcycled items as possible, and as little new material as we can possibly do. That is, we don't have to buy. We'd rather use raw materials that are on our land. As for pineapples, absolutely. I sold my pineapples. So for anyone who doesn't know, I started growing pineapples in Calgary, inside. In the house that we were staying in, had some beautiful south-facing windows, and I started growing pineapples, and we harvested some of the most delicious and sweet and amazing pineapples ever out there from that. When we moved in Calgary, unfortunately, our south-facing window didn't get nearly as much sun because of trees, and so we didn't get any fruit there in the last couple of years. But yeah, I mean, we got some amazing pineapples. So yes, the plan is definitely to have pineapples again. We actually would very much like to have a couple of greenhouses that all sort of have like slightly different climates. So, there's some stuff that's hardy that would grow outside here. So there's some varieties of apples and one or two plums that would grow this far north, but not a ton. We would then like to have a greenhouse that sort of reproduces where we can get more of things like peaches and thank you, yes, peaches and plums and apricots and things like that. And then, in the sort of all-season greenhouse, we'd love to do stuff that's a lot more tropical. I know for sure we want some cherries and things like that. Are we back, and can we behave this time? Take two. Yes, we'll try to take two. Yes, there are peaches that grow that far. I know that the University of Winnipeg managed to grow some cherries. And they have a variety of cherries that they have made that are, and gone again, that are hardy up to Zone 2. So I'm hoping to get my hands on those. I'll have to reach out to someone who's from that area to try and see if I can find that variety. Yes, and I promise, Jen, we will bring back the pineapples. They honestly are just incredibly sweet. They are just absolutely amazing. Honestly, like, and I mean, like, I come from South Africa, and pineapples grow there, and so they're a lot fresher than what, say, we get even here in Ontario. But I had honestly not tasted pineapples quite as sweet as the ones that I grew in our living room. I mean, they were just, it was like candy.
They were honestly some of the best pineapple they are the best pineapple I've ever tasted in my life. And I mean,
and you've been to Cuba?
Yes, but even still, we were really preoccupied. It was a graduation trip. We weren't tasting the pineapple there.
No.
But But seriously, I like from anywhere, that was the best, the nicest, and it was like candy. It was just amazing.
Try yes, and that's definitely something else we're thinking of trying. And again, it's so hard because we've got all these plans. I mean, we've actually this is something we'll share on Patreon in the next couple of weeks. But we actually have a entire cabin built and planned and built out. He's just knocking over everything. So he's very excitable because we're talking. Sorry. Maybe I'll switch with you in a bit, and then you can hold this, and I'll hold him for a bit. It's so frustrating because we have to wait. So we're not on the property yet. B, there's so much to clear. Once the road access is there, and once we're in on the property, it gives us the opportunity to rent larger equipment to help us clear more space, clear more areas to grow, clear more flat ground, as it were, to both build the cabin as well as to start building gardens and things like that, and a chicken coop, and goats and that kind of thing down the road. But to do that, we have to get onto the property and get that road done. So I'm going to switch with Sandy for a bit, just to give him a moment or two. With Rebby, give me a sec.
All right. I don't know where we were at right now in terms of what you were just finishing. Oh, the greenhouse climate controlled. Hello, Sue. And I'm sorry, is this Jen, my friend Jen?
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, Jen. Yes, I also wasn't sure about the name in there. So what else are we talking about here?
We just talked about plans. So, like, things we want to do on the property, greenhouse clearing.
Okay. Interesting. We love him a ton. He's a wonderful dog, and I mean he has a very big heart. He's very affectionate. He definitely is quite playful. We've obviously, I think, we've posted video of him off leash now, right?
Yes.
Yes. So he had a lot of fun being off leash, and he was well behaved with that. I mean, he was obviously wired and having a good run. It's he's got a few quirks that need some work, and we've been talking to a few people about it, some friends who are a bit more familiar with dealing with dogs and that sort of thing. So we're kind of working through some of the little quirks, but but ultimately, I mean, it's been great having him. We do love having him here.
So that's an interesting question. So, hi, Frankie. Thanks for joining.
Oh, it's Frankie. I was like, who is? And I'm like, and I'm sorry, I know the Sandra Dean thing should be like totally self-explanatory, but you're not the only one who's called me that in my time. So it needs some clarification. But hey, Frankie.
So, Sue, to answer your question about recall, what we noticed was, yes, I know, the slow mode.
Yeah.
Just watch this.
Yes.
So when he was off leash, there were occasions where he, oh, Remy, what did you do?
Did he disconnect us? No, we're still going.
Okay, there we go.
I
don't know what he did.
No.
He stood on the mouse.
Something's
okay. No, we're fine. That's delayed. There's a delay.
Okay.
Yes. So that was a Remy that happened. Can everyone still hear us?
He stood on the mouse.
He stood on the mouse.
And it clicked something and disconnected something.
But I think we're still live. We are still live. Okay, good.
Is.
All right. So, anyway, so off leash, he was fine. So next to us, it almost looks like Christmas tree plantations, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's just, spruce trees that are coming up. He ran into them, and I called his name, and he did come back out almost immediately. So, yes,
he is, and Amy, who was caring for him before we took him on, had pointed out, because we had a bit there where we were going, was this actually even his name to begin with? Because he's not always responding, and she pointed out he's just being stubborn, and that is a Remy thing. Remy is a bloody stubborn dog when he wants to be, and
very stubborn.
When he's decided that he doesn't want to hear and he doesn't want to acknowledge, he's just not going to until you kind of make him. But we were sitting on it.
I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, you chew on your leash. Now he's going to take himself for a walk because he's holding the leash.
Yes, likely is.
Yes.
I believe that, because the other, I don't think it's a lab thing from the labs. That
no,
I know, so.
And actually, my sister said, the thing about boxers is they have the curiosity of Tigger. So he definitely does have the curiosity of Tigger. And the weight of an elephant
at times.
Like, I mean, if he doesn't want to move, he plops himself down and he is just like immovable. Like he is like,
he has a way of,
I don't know how,
getting in there. And eventually, I mean,
weight.
If you basically, I mean, I've had to, well, we've both now had to do you need to share the bed kind of thing with him. And I've had to actually get both arms underneath and lift him up and forcibly put him where he's supposed to be sleeping. But
yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, he's been awesome. And I mean, like, there are things that we're trying to correct, but I mean, it's still early. I mean, like, he's only
been with us for 2 weeks.
Well, literally tomorrow is 3 weeks.
Is it 3 weeks?
It's literally 3 weeks tomorrow. So, he's going to take a little while. Some of the habits he has is like what he's doing right now, which you can move your hand, which is what they call cobbing. So if you don't know what that is, dogs do that to their puppies. It's like kind
of like nipping.
It's
not aggressive. It's obviously done affectionately and that sort of thing. And I mean, that is something too that's great with him. I mean, he's not. He really doesn't have much an aggressive bone in his body. Like he doesn't like bikes.
Doesn't like bicycles.
Bikes. I don't know what it is about that, but I mean, that's the only thing that really sets him off. I mean, he's fine. Like he's not much for barking. And that's the only time that he really kind of, notice he starts barking at things as
and
somebody
people
goes
with
by
funny colored hair.
Yeah, but even that, actually, because most of the people who've gone by on the bikes I don't think he's paying attention to the hair.
No, probably not.
But yeah, he has a real hate on for bikes for some reason.
Yeah,
so
I don't know why he dislikes bicycles so much. It's really weird, but I mean, like he's pretty good. We're trying to train him that outside is play and inside is not play, because we're in a 24-foot camper,
and even when we're not, I still don't want him rambunctious running all over the place. Not that he's like that, but I mean, boundaries.
Yeah, but it is kind of cool. I mean, like with off leash, he hasn't actually wandered too far.
No.
Like he gets the zoomies, and he flies, like absolutely flies around the camper, but he doesn't go too far. And you just have to say his name, and he comes back to where you can see him and where he can see you. So that's really good.
But yeah, he's He's been great, and I mean, we have, well, it's debatable whether he gets along with the cat or not. It also somewhat depends on how in heat she is at the time. When she's in heat, they get along very well.
Very well.
Entirely too well. When she's not in heat, which has been the case for the majority of the time we've been here, she doesn't mind being with him. Like, she doesn't mind sharing the same space as him at all. But she doesn't like him approaching her too much, or she gets her nose out of joint.
And yet, and then other times, like, and even earlier on today, he was lying on the sofa. She was on the sofa when I came out of the bedroom this morning. She was on the sofa, and he came out. He the minute I got up, he wanted to come out, and he came out, and they literally sat next to each other on the sofa, like best of buds.
Yeah, they'll do that.
Like, you know, nothing to see here, folks. And then she'll move, and then he'll want to play with her, and then she'll swipe at him, and then they don't want to talk to each other. And it's just, so I don't know. I mean, like, I guess they'll
love hate.
Yeah. It's a bit of love hate there. I mean, like, we'd like them to get to love. I mean, like, I will say that, I mean, we've actually, all four of us, been in the bedroom together.
Yep.
Without incident, really.
Yeah.
And that's quite something. Are you going to have a thumb left after this?
No.
I tried to switch it to my thumb, but he's all over yours today. I don't know.
And to know we're letting this slide right now because we're on camera here with people. This is behavior that we are generally correcting.
Yeah.
All the rest of the time.
Hey,
but
stop.
But for right now.
Yeah, to keep the peace and stop everything from getting knocked over. Has everyone like fallen asleep there? Is everyone just watching Sandy slowly being chewed to death, one finger at a time? Probably, yeah. Oh, I did mention that because someone would ask about the plants at the greenhouse. It was Jen. And then that was how we got into, will there be more greenhouses? What are we planning to build with greenhouses and so on. But I did say that we're going to talk about your cannabis plants.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm definitely overdue for sort of an update video on that anyway. And part of the reason for that is because we've gone now from where everything sort of had our setup here with all the lights and everything like that. And we still have all the other plants, save the ones in the greenhouse, on the same shelving. My cannabis plants have actually, by a long shot, exceeded being able to actually be on the shelf anymore. Like, they just don't fit.
They are way too
they're kind of tucked at the back window, just crashing again into the ceiling. They're doing well. I had the 4. I now have 3. One of them turned out to be a male plant, and you don't want the male plants for this purpose, and you have to remove them, or they'll start trying to pollinate the females, and that'll kind of mess them up. The females are the ones that grow the buds and everything that you want for your CBD or your THC or whatever your purpose is for having them. But the 3 that are going right now, one's we were just talking about earlier, is a little sparse looking compared to the other 2, but definitely the 2 of them have just exploded at this point, and they are actually starting to flower and everything now. So that's been kind of exciting because, like I said, I expected absolutely zero to come out of any of these. I thought they were just going to be nothing. And even when they grew, I thought, well, it was probably just going to turn out to be a bunch of leaves or something. Like, they'll never actually turn into what they're supposed to. So, yeah, but I will do a proper update video when I pull them out. They're going to end up getting moved over once we're past the frost warning, or whatever you call it, frost time. Yeah. They'll get planted over in the garden there, and they'll just get let loose to see what they do. So yeah, those I'm pretty excited about. And I mean, I would bring it over right now, but it's a little teetery, and I've got a crazy dog on me right now that isn't exactly
it's now gnawing my thumb off.
So
Thank you, Sue. That is appreciated.
Yes, thank you.
The plants that have died, just didn't try hard enough.
That's what.
That's what I'm going with. Because,
actually, though, a lot of them have come back.
Yeah, I'm actually impressed. So, tomatoes have been really hard. Tomatoes have been the one thing that I've really struggled the most with this year, because some of them, like they would start growing really well, and then they would just stop, and then their leaves would fall off, and they just like look really pathetic. And I'd be like, okay, well, crud. And so, we ended up tossing a bunch of them that just died completely. The sorry, we're both being ignored now. I don't know. I'm hoping that we will.
Yeah, well, certainly the aim, and there is so much more still to go into the ground.
I mean, the thing is, things like green beans, peas, carrots are really the things that we eat.
Yeah.
Right. We do have other things, of course, that we're growing that we don't eat yet. I suppose we eat enough of. We have like radishes, and we have beets, and we have things like that. And I do eat them, and I do like to eat them. But
I will be back.
Okay, we're taking him out again because
this one has a lot of pent-up energy.
I don't know why today of all days he's got all this
Extra.
Yeah. So I mean, to answer your question, Sue, won't necessarily be fully self-sufficient. I mean, like, obviously, every bit that we get closer to it is a bit closer to it. So, as much as we can grow and can and so on and so forth, that helps us last, the better. We will probably end up supporting some local farmers and doing, buying bushels of tomatoes and things like that once we have an area set up to do canning and stuff like that. So, that's definitely part of the plan, because I mean, ultimately, that's what we want. Is we want to be as self-sufficient as humanly possible. So, and guys, I am sorry that we're on slow mode on chat, but yeah, it gives us an opportunity to answer questions and go from there. So, and so you're definitely never chatting our ear off. Yes, we will be keeping animals for food. So the thing that everyone starts with is obviously what we would like to start with, and that's chickens. And so it's still early because I want to have a very secure chicken coop set up before we get to that point. So as you may have seen in the last video, we did see some bear poo on the road just yesterday. So we have to make sure that our animals that we have, our livestock, that they are well protected. Yes, there are other predators other than bears and lynx. We have seen evidence of wolves. We have seen snakes. Lynx, bears, snakes, foxes. We've seen you saw foxes in the video. Yeah, so I mean, like, we're surrounded by them all. It's great. I'm fine, especially with the snakes. So a couple of things. So one of the good things about having a dog is that generally speaking, bears will tend to stay away. They'll tend to stay away from a place where there's activity and noise. And certainly with the generator running, with Remy running around, and things like that, they will tend to stay away. A well-built, well-secured structure for chickens, for example, is definitely paramount. What I want to do is I actually want to build, or I'm considering building a large portion of it out of stone. So there's a lot of stone and rock around here. And so I'm really thinking of doing stone and concrete as the foundation and possibly part of the walls. Also, it's easier to clean for chickens. But yeah, I'm not sure. Is there anything on your wish list? That's a very tough call. So there's a plethora of stuff that's on the wish list. So we have stuff that's like obviously longer term. So stuff like for chickens and stuff that's down the road. We don't need that right now. There's other stuff that's sort of like more immediate. Things like, for example, the Nutri-Grain bars, and we're back again for the last little bit. Are we better now? Okay, so he doesn't want me on there now. The Nutri-Grain bars, the sort of treats for the DOG, and that sort of thing. Those are like little things that are handier. Yes, those are sort of more immediate. I was sort of thinking of doing multiple ones, and ones that sort of had like, these are groceries, and these are, these are down the road items, and these are not down the road items, and that kind of stuff. It gets really hard to manage on that list, and I don't know how it shows up for you. And we're right back to that. Stop that. How have the locals been treating you? And oh, hi, Richard.
Hi, Rich.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, they're pretty friendly for the most part. I mean, no complaints. I mean,
No
there's
complaints.
been no difficulties or anything like that.
I will say, we did get weird looks when we wait for breakfast.
Yeah, that time when we sort of stayed overnight here before we had shifted the camper over, it was kind of a like, you don't belong here. You're not part of the usual town unit. We don't recognize.
We walked into the diner at 20 after 7, and there's like half the town of men sitting around having their coffee and yakking and doing their morning. This is what we're doing today, kind of thing. And
I do want to point out though that I'm not going to get any last names or anything. So Lil, who is the main person at the post office, is super, super friendly and nice. And she was one who, when we first set up our post office box here, did take a point to say, welcome to the neighborhood and that sort of thing.
And what was really nice is that, so we had to apply we had to get the post box, and then we had to get the keys like 2 weeks later, because she had to order keys for it. And I didn't even say my name. When we went back to go pick up the keys, she was just like, "Oh, hi, Desmond. Here are your keys." It was like no hesitation at all. Totally remembered who we were. So it was really cool. We did meet one of the gentlemen from down the road. So,
are we talking the house down the road?
Yes.
Here? Okay, so that's a little bit of a ways, but it's sort of the first property that
civilization that you cross
back to town.
Or it's the last one when you're leaving town. And he drove by last weekend, was going to go and visit a buddy who was camping out further along, and sort of stopped on his way back. And chatted with us for about an hour, just over an
quite a
hour.
while.
So it was really nice. Because we wave at him when we go by, because we're friendly and we're neighborly, and we
Just
wave.
wave at everybody.
We wave at everyone, even the ones that don't wave back. But yeah, I mean, like, it's everyone in town seems pretty friendly.
Yeah, they're quite
Um,
laid back, I think, is the impression. We had the other, the one guy the other day
that just purchased the property.
Well, no, them too, but I was actually just going to say the day we went into the general store here, and this one was quite barky, and there was one guy who was going into the store as well with his family who stopped to ask Remy what was going on there. So that was quite friendly.
Tried to quieten him down because he was just going nuts in the back of the truck. But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so far. Oh, sorry. You were saying about who have the property up front.
Oh yeah. So, and the only other people that really sort of stopped to chat with us is people who purchased 160 acres way down the road from us, and they had stopped in just before May 24 to go and spend a couple of days out on their property, and they stopped by to say hi.
And I think they're more interested in it as just sort of a recreational land kind of thing, like they were in with ATVs, if I recall.
And I mean, I think most of the people that are coming out this way are either here to log because they're working in that industry. I believe there's a small quarry down the very far end of this road, but it is a cul-de-sac, so there's nothing, you can't get out. So there's only one way in or out. We're right on that road, so we see everyone that comes by. Other than that, most people are going to be using this for recreation and in the summer months. So, but interestingly enough, I mean, like today was the first vehicle we've seen all week. There's been no other vehicles.
I mean, the weather's been it's not the weather, it's the flies, I think.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to actually go out when you
only us
cannot
two
get
crazy
away from
guys
the
that are like, trying to cut down trees and
so have you answered about predators?
I have answered about
Bears and
predators,
lynx?
bears, lynx, and wolves, and foxes and snakes and
Yeah, Mom's gonna love hearing
lions
about
and
that.
tigers and bears and
Yes.
so we're on
and
to,
then
have
there
you
was-
considered this one here?
a GoFundMe to be able to purchase the larger items.
100%. Yeah, when we don't want to put the cart before the horse. So we really want to get, once we're on the property and we have the space and we know what we're at, we definitely know some of the bigger ticket items are going to be things like a tractor. And we're not going to go out and buy the brand spanking new, $200,000 John Deere, whatever.
Nobody here has a brand spanking new anything
I
like
don't
that.
think. We are looking at the Facebook Marketplace, $4,000 for this fixer upper from 1978 and that kind of stuff. One of the ones we really saw that was really cool and really would love is that wood cook stove. So like a full full cook stove with oven was on Facebook Marketplace, and they've never used it for $750. And it's just like, I mean,
quite there, right?
Not quite there right the second, because I mean, like we put it. But once we're there and as we go, yes, we'll be doing things like GoFundMe for those larger tickets.
I mean, actually, though, having said that, like if an item like that came our way and we couldn't pass it up or whatever, we would find somewhere. I mean, put a tarp
100%.
over it or whatever. I mean,
I would drag it in there.
Yeah.
This dog would become a sled dog right away.
Yes.
I'm kidding. I would never do that. I mean, Sue, a lot of the items on there are need now. I mean, certainly like the tools, the hand tools, digging tools, the lumber tools, those sort of things are 100% things we need now. Food items are always appreciated. Medications, Afterbites. I would love Afterbites. If you all want to send me a case of Afterbites, please, because I don't know what it was, but like, and you will not see this on camera,
But he was bitten quite
but
out. the
I
way that-
like both here, and I'm assuming it's just from chopping and stuff, and
Yes.
things deciding that this was a vulnerable area, and yeah, it literally has taken 5 days, and finally the bumps are starting to subside now, so that's a good thing. So. But guys, like we're running over an hour now, and we don't want to bore you and just keep prattling on,
Yammering
because
on.
if y'all don't ask questions, we will carry on. So um, I'll give a final minute or so for anyone who has final questions before we put this puppy to bed.
Yes, and we need to feed ourselves.
And
too,
yeah, put
because
some
it's
food in the
dinner
belly,
time.
because it is dinner time. But yeah, has anyone else got any other questions for us for now? And please let us know what the quality is like. Like, it looks better. Sandy's got his laptop over there, so I can see him, see what we're doing, and it kind of looks okay.
It looks a bit cleaner over there.
It looks a
than
bit
it does in
cleaner than
front
it
of
does
us.
in front of us, but I don't know.
Thank you so much. Sue.
Oh, Sue, that's awesome. Thank you so much. That's truly appreciated. That's all the feels. Appreciate that. Hope everyone did get to see that video, though, the recap video, the montage video.
Yes.
That really is. Yeah, it was a very emotional thing putting that together. So
yeah.
All right. So last chance. Anybody? There's 8 people in here. You all get a chance. One question. Now's the time. If you can join, if you joined us, ask us your questions. The light could be better. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, we'll sort out some lighting issues and stuff for next time.
We might actually
trial and error.
We might actually schedule it later, because I mean the big problem is
the sun
right now it's like this is
it does
so
weird things.
This is east, and no, that's east, roughly that way, and so the sun's going down like there, and this is sort of south, but we sort of hope that we get more light from the side, but because it's overcast, I think we're just getting light generally.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, the camera did not like this being open, or this particular camera, because we can't use a cell phone yet. Oh, also we're at 299 subscribers, which is great. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you. Thank you all for following and following our story. But yeah, if no one else has any other questions. Oh, one question. Sue's got one question. But now we've got to wait a minute, because now you can only send a message every minute.
Right.
I promise next time I will not put on that setting.
Yes.
Okay. I know that that's frustrating for people, because they've texted me and told me that. No names mentioned, Frank.
Well, she's probably right too.
Well,
it's a weird feature.
It is a weird feature, but I mean, like, it's so that like on these busier lives, like, you get like so many people, and they'll just bombard, right? So I'm surprised Rich hasn't had more questions.
Rich asks me a lot in private.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I just thought he'd have more questions here. Would it be better to Patreon? I think it depends, Sue. At the moment, Jay's World Kitchen is sadly on the back burner. It's very, very hard to film content in 2 feet wide by like 4 feet. Like,
Yeah.
I have no space. I really do want to do stuff outside. The downside is that until we have more space to do that, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. I'm going to try and fudge a couple of videos there, but honestly, you may want to switch over to the Our Better Life, just so that for those of you that are watching that don't know much about Patreon, so it is a subscription service where you can get on there for free. There's a free level where you get some posts, and then there's 4 levels. And they are at $10, $25, $50, and $100, and that is sort of a monthly pledge. And what that does is on each level you get a different perk. And from the $25 level up, you actually get exclusive content. So content that doesn't get posted anywhere else on Patreon. Sorry, only on Patreon. Is from $25 and up. Not that kind of content. But you're so bad. Yes, and thank you. And I mean, and we really appreciate the support. We have some amazing.
And what of it?
Yeah. What's your point? Yeah, we do have some amazing supporters. And I'm going to take my glasses off because I know I'm going to start crying. Some of you have saved our lives.
Yep.
Literally, a number of times. And whether that's just financial
or just by offering the support
just
through
being there.
kind words and things like that. We've had our ups and downs here. I mean, the whole thing itself has been amazing, and no regrets, and we're happy to be doing it. But there's been some battles and some really tough times, and just some tough things to get through mentally at times, and just keep going. And certainly the obviously the financial help at times, or just sending things, the care packages, stuff like that, has made a huge difference. But the general support in dialogue has got us through so many times, some like truly difficult moments. So
yeah, and we have good days, good bads, and good days and bad days. And mental health is a thing, and I mean, like, a big reason why we're doing this, why we're here, is mental health. And city living and 9-to-5 drudgery and the stresses and the challenges that brought. I don't know if I can do this.
Thanks a lot, Rich.
Thanks, Rich.
Thank you.
Enjoy
Enjoy your
and
dinner.
you leave as I'm crying. I see. Yeah, I drove you away. But yeah, like all that drudgery and all the difficulties of being in the city and things like that, and being out here.
Yep.
There's different stresses. I mean, it's not stressful, but there's different stresses.
And so I love you too, Sue. We saw that.
And yes, Sue, we do absolutely love you very, very much. And we miss you. I hope that you are going to do your RV. I think Sue the Nomad needs to go RVing, and what an amazing adventure that would be to follow.
Yeah.
We'd love to see that. But yeah, being here has its different stresses, and so many people have supported in so many ways, and every single little, like, even if you think it's just a little thing, the positive comments and the encouraging comments and the encouraging messages you guys send is astounding, and it really, really does make all the difference to have that positivity and that incredible support from all of you.
Yeah.
So thank you. Well, Sue, I mean, like, the future is now. We've already skipped the Back to the Future thing. I mean,
date. That's right.
Yeah, right. We've got one more. I think 2025. Isn't that the last one? I think in that movie. But anyway,
I'm just thinking about the end of the world mentioned in Ghostbusters, and we've already passed that.
Oh, okay, we passed that one too. So yeah, but yeah. So I mean, the future is now, and sometimes it's best to just go, hey, let's go, and that's really what we ended up doing.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Sue. That's awesome, and just another reason why we love you so much.
And agreed.
But guys, we are going to go because now he's fine.
Now he's
settled.
past that.
Now he's fine. We should have started the live now, and we should have just sat here and talked to the computer
Yes.
for an hour because then he would have calmed down. But thank you guys all so much
Yes, thank you.
for joining it. This was fun, and we still love to hear from you, and I love your questions. I love your support on Facebook, Instagram, and all the places, and on YouTube. And we'll try and keep the content as interesting as we can. I know a lot of people have been seeing the plants that we're seeing.
Mhm.
I'm trying not to make it too repetitive, but there's a lot of the same plants because there's 80 acres and there's a lot of the same plant. But anyway, we'll do our best. So, guys, thank you so very, very, very much
Yes, thank you.
for all of your time and support. And until the next video, everybody.
Bye for now.
Bye.